Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig, the writer. Wait, that's not what this is. This is from my Patreon, my exclusive video diary. Get a behind-the-scenes look of my life with my friends, family, behind-the-scenes recording of So Much to Say podcast, and the Queen's Supreme Court live show.
You done poofed the girl. You in the chair. Poof.
There's even a subscription level for aspiring writers. My Patreon video diary is just $5 a month.
I'm in here starving.
Let me tell you what this bitch.
And what information do you know, Sydney?
The phone number.
I just thought they were just interviewing me, asking me, general questions. You got
So join now. Visit www.patreon.com/Craig the Writer Stewart. Bye. SayItInACard.com is an online greeting card company that delivers right to your front door. Visit our website, www.sayItInACard.com. You can read the cards, order the cards, and we ship them directly to you. If you feel it, we say it in a card. We have breakup cards, troubled relationship cards, troubled friendship cards, and of course, all of the traditional cards as well, from birthday to Mother's Day. So again, visit us at www.sayItInACard.com. Free shipping for a limited time. Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressive.
Hey, y'all. SayItInACard.com is an online greeting card company with all occasion greeting cards. Child, from breakups to birthdays, Mother's Days to sympathy. And honey, for you girls with those troubled relationships and all them damn complications, they got a card for you too. Visit them at www.sayItInACard.com. Once again, that's www.sayItInACard.com. Right there, you can read the cards, order the cards, and wait for them to be shipped right to your front door. And remember, if you feel it, we can say it in the card. Ciao.
Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and this is So Much to Say YouTube TV. These are my thoughts in my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. So Much to Say YouTube TV is the place that you come to learn and grow, because we discuss socially relevant things mixed with a splash of humor. If you know you have tissue paper feelings, this probably isn't the channel for you. However, since you're here, I just need for you to do two things. Hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and turn on that little bell so that you get the notification every single time that I go live or upload something new. I'll see you soon. I was involved briefly with a married man who believed he had the courage to leave his wife to be with me and to live his truth. This isn't the typical story of a married man promising to leave his wife for a secret lover. Rather, this is a story in part about a gay man who knew he was gay before he got married, but chose to marry a woman because he didn't know how to break free. Rocky and I met on a gay social media site 3 months after I returned to the East Coast to live, and just 11 months after he was married. At the time we met, he was living and working in Dubai as a contractor for the government on a military base, while his wife was stationed in Tallahassee, Florida, where they had a home. In one of the first messages he sent me, Rocky... All right, damn all them commercials. Listen, I had some technical difficulties. I had a few technical difficulties. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? I am live from the Dante studio, the Dante Show studio in Los Angeles, California. And he is at work. And can you guys hear me? All right, you guys can hear me. See, he has a real microphone over here. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Is it cloudy? Now listen, I can't help the internet. I can't help the internet over here. Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and I am live from the Dante Show studio in Los Angeles, California. Hey girl, hey. Hey boy, hey. Hey man. Did you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button? I'm going to make this quick. I do want to talk about this Wendy Williams documentary and the show, the actual movie itself. I want to start with the documentary because I want to start with the positive things, the things that I thought were good. I really do. I think that she did a really great job being vulnerable in the documentary. Yes, lock the doors, please. Please lock the doors. Um, I'm live in the middle of the afternoon because I will be flying tonight back to Hotlanta. And I don't want to hear no nonsense about what is this live. I mean, why we ain't getting no live? So, but anyway, she was very vulnerable in the documentary. I liked that she was raw in the way that she was speaking, as well as she didn't have on any makeup. Her hair wasn't done. Like she was naked. She was vulnerable, right? Um, I will say that she could have just given us the documentary without the movie. She could have given us the documentary without the movie. Because what we saw in the documentary was basically the cliffs notes of what we saw in the movie. I think that's all I really want to say about the documentary. I mean, what I will tell you about the documentary though is she didn't really give us anything that we didn't already know. If you've been following her career, like I've been following Wendy since she was on radio, right? Now, let me move over to let me get my little notepads because I have a few things that I want to say and I want to make sure I don't forget. I should have done this before I came on, but I didn't. As far as the movie goes, just from a technical standpoint, and I know some of you don't care about the technical stuff, but it does change or enhance your experience of the movie. For me, the voiceover stuff, I think she should have done the voiceover. I'm now talking about the movie. I think she should have done the voiceover because it would have added some more credibility to it. To the movie itself, it would have been a bit more authentic. It would have felt more authentic in that way. But I also felt like that the voiceover was overdone. I felt like it was too much voiceover work, because I felt like they used the voiceovers to kind of bridge us and drag us along through the story. I felt like it felt rushed to me. It felt very rushed, and she used the narrator to basically tell different stories without actually having to show us. So, for example, again, like the miscarriages, I was aware of those because she's told those stories on the radio. She told those stories on her talk show now. And I really feel like, now, of course, you don't necessarily have to show us all of those because she had more than, I think in the movie, they only showed us 2. But I think she had about 4. If I'm not mistaken, but I can't really recall. But if you notice with the voiceover part, it was the actress, but then it got to, I think it started to switch over and it was, no. I'm thinking about the salt and pepper thing. They lip sync in the beginning and then they moved to Salt and Pepper's voice, but anyway, but then I felt like she wasn't really being completely forthcoming about what actually happened that day she fell out in that Statue of Liberty costume. Like, you didn't really tell us. Were you high? Were you drunk? Were you overheated? Because that was the story that you gave us. So I'm inclined to believe that you were drunk or high. And you know how I talk to you guys about how I say to you guys a lot, especially women, like when you have become really successful in your career or in your personal life, how sometimes you turn over your power to the man in your life. And I was really, really disenchanted when she didn't have money to get from the place in Florida. Like, why does she need Kevin to book her a flight? Like, my thing is, I just feel like if you had access to a telephone, instead of calling him to say, hey, book me a flight, get me out of here, why couldn't you call your financial somebody and say, hey, book me a flight, get me from down here, and then take care of that when you get home? Like, I don't understand how she didn't have her own resources. Like, what if he said no? I'm not coming to get you. So was she supposed to just stay there? But I felt like that was a bit nebulous, a bit cloudy, as well as she didn't tell us how she started using coke or drugs for that matter. She just, again, the narrator told us, yeah, I had a relationship with cocaine, and that was the only personal relationship that I had at that time in my life. But I wanted to see like her. The only thing they showed us from her childhood was when she fell in that chair when they were playing musical chairs. But I wanted to see that she went to college. She worked in the Virgin Islands for a little bit on the radio. And I know they showed that little dumb map with the plane and crisscrossing and stuff like that. But like, show us that. Like instead of using the voiceover to just kind of gloss over these things, show us that. And like, when she, like, I wanted to know when she got on coke or drugs, period. And then I've heard stories of her talking about, walking on Jerome Boulevard in the Bronx. Like, I wanted to know, I wanted to see you actually going to look for the drugs, or like, how was that? Like, what was that like? And I know she didn't want to talk about the son because, this is just about her. And she said the son was off limits. But again, my thing is, if you're not going to be forthcoming, then what was the point of doing the documentary or the biopic, period? Like, you think the son doesn't already know this stuff? This stuff made the headlines. He's 20 or 21. And my thing is, if they didn't have the budget, then they should have cut the documentary or cut the film. They should have done one or the other. And it just, and how you doing? Where did that come from? She didn't even explain that. She didn't explain where how you doing came from. Now, those of you who've been watching for, look, y'all saying, dang, it was only 2 hours. But again, why give us a half incomplete story? There was a lot that was glossed over. Yes, Jamie. And then like, she didn't explain where how you doing came from. They couldn't have showed us that. They could have shown us that because back in the day, look, Kimberly said, I enjoyed it until Craig tore it up. But I'm just, it's just the artist in me. I just want to bring it to your attention. Thank you, Vicky. But here you go. So what happened with, they asking about what happened on my neck. I had a little bite. But when you watch, if you were watching Wendy from the beginning, if you were watching or listening to her radio show, she used to say, how you doing? When she suspected somebody of being gay. Right. So like if she'd be talking about, this is what she used to do on the radio. Like if she was talking about Puffy, they glossed over that in the movie as well, about the gay rapper. Like she literally was riding him for a long time, basically saying that he was the gay rapper and this, that, and the third. And then, but like if she was talking about Puffy or she was talking about Usher, she would like, yeah, so anyway, Usher's in the news. How you doing, Usher? Like she would say that as a way to say, he's gay or he's part of the community without actually saying it and putting herself at risk for being sued. Right. So she would just use that as a way of saying, oh yeah, he part of the community. And so the character never even said, how you doing in the movie? How you not going to say that in a movie at all? And then I really do think that Kevin put his hands on her. She tried to make it seem like, and again, she probably was trying to protect her son. She didn't want to say that in the film or in the docuseries or the documentary rather. But I believe that he definitely was putting hands on her because she said something that was kind of conflicting, where she said, Kevin wasn't abusive. He never put his hands on me. I fell on that floor and broke my arm. Wait, what? What, Wendy? What? Like it just didn't add up. And my thing is, if you were gonna really do this documentary in this film, like come on and give it to us. How you doing? Yeah, come on now. Like we needed to know the history behind that. And they showed Charlemagne for a quick second, which I wasn't completely upset about that. But they just showed him as a brief moment. And then I've been watching like all of these interviews that she did in preparation of this Lifetime event. And she said on one of the interviews with DJ Sus One, she said she didn't understand why Method Man was upset with her. No, no, you understood why he was upset with you, because years ago, when Method Man's wife was diagnosed with cancer, I'm not sure what type of cancer it was, Wendy Williams went on the radio. This is before she was on TV. She went on the radio. And I remember this when this happened. That's what I'm telling you. I've been following her for years, and I remember this. And she basically outed his wife. She said that she had cancer, and Method Man was pissed off because his wife hadn't even told anyone. They hadn't even told the family. They hadn't told anyone. And so Method Man went up to the radio station, and Charlemagne on the Breakfast Club talks about it. I think that was today. It was either today or yesterday. Charlemagne talks about it. He explains how Method Man came up to the radio station, and he was trying to figure out who he could sue, and he was trying, he was up there because he was pissed off about it. And Method Man's wife just recently posted something in the past day or so or whatever, basically saying that Wendy is a miserable bitch, and she's been terrorizing their family and their marriage from the beginning, this, that, and the third. But when she said in that documentary how she kept losing these babies, remember Wendy's sister said, Wendy was starting to wonder if she was having all of these miscarriages. Y'all see my edges coming in? Don't act like you don't. Oh, I know you see these edges coming in. That's another story for a different day. But Wendy's sister was basically saying, Wendy was starting to feel that maybe she was having all of these miscarriages because she was talking about so many people. She was so, and it just lets you know why she became and how she became so comfortable talking about other people, because she was miserable. She was miserable in her marriage. She was miserable in her personal life. She didn't have friends. And remember, there were two moments in that documentary where she said, I had no one to talk to. She said, I had no one to talk to. And that was because she alienated herself from everyone. And I've said this to you guys before. Just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean you separate yourself from your friends, your family, your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? And so that when she really needed a support system, she didn't have it. And this is the reason why she didn't want anyone to know her personal business. And that was because she was afraid that there would be people would do to her what she had done to other people. And then I was so disappointed in the film. I'm back on the film now. And remember in the film when she went to the house, to the girl Sharina's house and Kevin's house that they bought 9 miles from her house, right? Why would you get out of your car and be looking in the window? Why would you do that? And then glue the mailbox together and spray paint the girl? Like, are you serious right now? And Carlton said to me, well, what would you have done? I said, it wouldn't have been that. I said, what I would have done was carry my ass to the bank, and I would have closed any account that he was on with me. I would have changed the locks to the house. You all clearly didn't read the first 2 books, because see, I'm that kind of guy. Like, what you're not going to do is do me dirty in the street and then think you're going to come home. No. That's not going to work. So what and then the other part was, remember when they were taking her from the sober house to the studio, those 2 guys that were driving her? I didn't understand why. But well, let me finish this first. And the reason why I wouldn't have gone and spray painted, somebody said, you are not a woman. I'm not a woman. But what I'm saying to you is, it's ridiculous to do stuff like that, because men only recognize strength. And I've been telling you, that's weakness. To go over there and to tear up somebody's property. No, the way that you get his attention is what she should have done was she should have changed her phone number. She should have changed the locks on the house. She should have changed put a freeze on all of the accounts. That's what she should have done. And she should have been working on getting him removed as an executive producer. That's how you get a bitch back. Fuck spray painting. That's some old high school shit. That's some old high school shit. Fuck that. And then my thing is, because she ran the risk of somebody in that neighborhood videotaping her. Thank you, C.L. Smith. She ran the risk of somebody in that neighborhood videotaping her and selling it on TMZ. She ran the risk of that. And like, why would you? No, you don't jeopardize your own career. And like, that's ridiculous. So now back to the part that I was going to say, when she was in the car and they were driving her, Sherry Coon said, I'm a woman and I'm with you, Craig. But when she was in the car going from the sober house to the studio, and remember, she jumped out of the car and she ran through the streets or whatever. Like, I guess that really happened, but I'm surprised that actually happened and we didn't see it. Because remember, at that time, the paparazzi was following her from. That's how we knew she was at a sober house. Remember, she admitted it because the Daily Mail was going to put her on blast. But she admitted it on the talk show, which they showed in the film. But my thing is, it seems as if the paparazzi or somebody would have filmed her running through the street. How are you going to not see Wendy Williams running through the streets between cars and stuff like that? Like, it seemed like, you know what I'm saying? It seemed like somebody would have caught that. And I'm kind of thinking that didn't happen either. I'm like, did they just kind of embellish that? You know what I'm saying? Did they just kind of make sure? I mean, make it, kind of improvise that? You know what I'm saying? And so, but then like, I, my thing is, she was giving him so many passes, and I understand that she said that she wanted to put things in a, in a, because there was another interview that I watched, and I don't remember who it was. It was last week, and she basically said that she had 12 or 13 years ago, she got in the car with her parents. This was 13 years ago, and she said she told them that she was going to leave Kevin, but she needed to put some things in motion first. 13 years ago. Why does it take you 13 years to? But at that point, she sold her condo. She had a condo at the time. She sold the condo for $1 to her parents, and she was just going to get it back from them later. I guess it was a way of her trying to protect her property. But my thing is, why would you continue on and then make him executive producer of your show? Okay, you're my manager, but you didn't have to make him executive producer of the show, especially if he's taking money buying Ferraris and watches and cars and all of these things, for this girl that he's sleeping with, that he's building this life with. So now all of a sudden, because she's pregnant, now you're fed the fuck up. No, you should have been fed up, because according to you, he had been cheating the entire marriage. He was with this particular girl for over 10 years, but he had been cheating prior to that. So like, why did you stay? Why did you stay? And the only answer that I can come up with is that sometimes we try to see the best in people. And yes, she was weak and she still wanted him. And she still believed. But what good is your hope when their hope is to be who they are? You know? And the fact that, and Charlemagne said on this radio interview that I listened to today, I think they may have uploaded it yesterday or the day before, whatever. It's on the Breakfast Club. But Charlemagne was saying that Kevin was they didn't even really capture how evil he was, because Charlemagne said that he called her all kinds of fat bitches. He terrorized her about her weight, which helped to chip away at her self-esteem. And this is why it's important for those of you, men, women, whatever, if you're in a relationship with somebody and they're not really pouring into you, and they're using little words, and they're pecking at you, chipping away at little pieces of you, over time, your self-worth and your self-esteem is in the gutter. You know what I'm saying? The longer you stay, the harder it is to leave, because they've chipped away at your self-esteem, and you really have no sense of self-worth to even have the courage to even get up and leave. You know what I'm saying? Why punish yourself? And I say this in Book of Jewels. I refuse to punish myself by putting myself in another relationship that doesn't serve me. But it was just like she was afraid to leave because she didn't want the streets to be talking. And it was just so disappointing, because what she never said, but I kept thinking about the entire time, is you've already taught your son that this is how you behave in a relationship. No matter how loving she is to him, he probably has some of those demons. I would hope that he doesn't, but he probably will have some of those. Even if he's not abusive physically, he'll probably have some of that um abrasiveness in the way that his father spoke to his mother. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something that you have to become conscious of it first to be able to break that. And I don't know if he can live in that household. I don't know if it was possible for him to be raised in that household and not be a byproduct of some of that stuff, be a byproduct of some of that stuff. And but I don't know. Overall, I thought the documentary was the best part of it. I think she could have just done that, and they could have just kept you know, the film. I uh, I didn't really have. I know some people didn't really like the actress. I didn't really have an issue too much um, with the actress. She wasn't horrible to me, but I mean, she definitely was. I definitely didn't like the fact that she was narrating. I think they should have used Wendy's voice for that. They definitely should have used Wendy's voice. Um, trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to say um, about that old tired ass movie. Um, oh, and it was almost like every story that she told us in the film were things that, like I said, if you've been following her career, you already knew about it from the radio show or from her talk show. And I just felt like they could have done a much better job of weaving those stories together. It was almost like they had a checklist. Okay, did we tell the story about when she was date raped? Okay, we got that. Did we talk about when she was on cocaine and when she kicked her habit? Okay, we got that. Did we talk about it was almost like they just wanted to highlight certain things and they didn't really build the story. I wanted them to build the story. We didn't see anything about her when did she get her love for radio? They could have showed us when she was in college. She was a radio disc jockey in college. They could have given us that. It was like they jumped from her childhood to her being on the radio. And then it's like in real life, she always talks about her best friend, Regina, that she grew up with. She always talked about that's her only friend. She didn't even make an appearance in the movie. Where was she? They didn't have a budget for that character either. Where was where where was where was Regina? Um, and then she glossed over her first marriage. She did say that she glossed, but then the other thing is she spent a considerable amount of time on Hot 97 and in Philadelphia. And for those of you who may not know, she and Angie Martinez actually bumped heads. And what happened was Angie Martinez actually laid hands on her. She was referring to Angie Martinez when she said this part-time DJ who was a brown noser. When she said that, she was talking about Angie Martinez, but she tried to minimize her. But see, again, instead of you just telling the full story about Angie Martinez, you're going to try to snub her in the film. Girl, that was whack. It was really whack. And then even with Kathy Hughes, like she talks about Kathy Hughes in real life. She's never said Kathy Hughes' name, but I'm from Maryland and she came to DC and she was working on a radio show in DC. And Kathy Hughes, of course, owns radio stations. And she didn't even give Kathy Hughes any dialogue. Kathy Hughes was sitting there with a cigarette. She was just standing there with a cigarette. Like she never even gave her the way she talks about this radio station owner who fired her and wasn't. She never even talked about how that was Kathy Hughes. Like why? Like why even do the film? I mean, it was like bullet point things, like the scene with Total. How Total came down to the radio station and they were gonna fight her. And I don't know. I just don't think that it really colored. It only showed Wendy on the radio show. Like, what was her family life like growing up? And yeah, it was just for me. She did mention Kathy Hughes, but what I'm saying is the person who portrayed Kathy Hughes didn't have any dialogue. She didn't have any lines. Like, help us understand why it was so difficult working under her. Like, what was so difficult about it? Because you talked about it in real life. You never said Kathy Hughes' name, but she's talked about it in real life. And girl, what are you talking about? Damn, do you have black women? She does not have to air everything. Well, girl, that's the point of a docuseries and a biopic. Girl, what are you talking about? Girl, you don't even make sense. But thank you. Who's that? Dum Dum. Dum dum da 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 da. Oh, and then here's what I want to say finally about the film and the docuseries or the documentary. I felt like it was almost her way of trying to bash Kevin. It was almost her way of trying to get back at him. And what I'm saying is, if this biopic was supposed to be about your life, it should have been about your life, and it shouldn't have been just so heavily filled with stories about Kevin. It was mostly about Kevin. If you really sit and think about it, oh girl who said I don't like black women, if you really think about it, the majority of the documentary, not just the documentary, but also the film, it was mostly about Kevin. It wasn't really right. Tell us what we don't already know. Thank you, Tori Johnson. Tell us what we don't already know. And my thing is, when she's on here talking about doing hot topics on her radio show, how many times have you watched the Wendy Williams show and somebody stands up and says, well, I'm the other woman and he's married and da da da? Correlate that to what was going on in your real life. They could have done that in the film. There were so many ways that they could have really illustrated it, because I'm sure some of those real life, some of those hot topics or some of those Ask Wendy questions were real life things that were going on for her. And then as far as the documentary goes, it would have been nice if they had pulled like screen grabs from The View and from some of these other blogs that were talking about her when this stuff was going on, and let us know what you were thinking when certain things were said. And you know what I'm saying? Like, there were ways that they could have made it more engaging, as opposed to her just sitting on that little couch. Like, because everybody was talking about it. TMZ was talking about it. Like, pull us a clip from TMZ and then have her, talk about that. Like, what was she thinking and feeling when she became a hot topic? Especially when they showed that clip when she was on her show and she said, all I know is I'm still married. Like, you should have felt like a fraud. Like, I really wanted to hear what she was feeling and thinking when she sat there and basically lied to everybody. And that really was the moment that I stopped watching her, because everybody knew that this man was cheating on her. He had bought multiple cars for this other woman. He had bought this house for this woman. Like, and you're sitting in that purple chair trying to pretend like everything is copacetic at your house. And then here's the other thing. In the movie, I think they should have given some of her current Wendy staff a role, and not necessarily the actual people, but they should have had characters in the actual film, because he was showing his ass at that television studio. Like, they should have showed certain things. We should, because the staff was having conversation. They were having sidebar conversation when this stuff was happening. So they should have incorporated that into the film. But I just feel like the same way I felt about Mary J. Blige when she did, what was that album she did? That last album she did with The Thick of It, that song called The Thick of It that Jasmine Sullivan wrote. I feel like she kept saying how this is gonna be her best project and this, that, and the third. No, I really felt like you put that album out because you really wanted to send a message to Kendu. It wasn't really your best project. And the same thing I feel about this biopic. This biopic was supposed to be Wendy's full. She was inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame. We should have saw that in the film. This film was completely about, it was her response to her husband's affair. That's really what it was. That's really what it was. And then they happened to throw in that she had some miscarriages, and they happened to throw in that she worked in Philly and DC and New York, and she was the hot girl on the radio station. But I mean, it really wasn't the breadth of her story. That's essentially what I'm trying to say. And I guess that's all I really want to say. Now we can move on to other things. I have had an amazing several days here in Los Angeles. I have documented it on my Patreon. That link is rolling at the bottom. Thank you for those of you who have subscribed to the Patreon. I really appreciate that. And I hope you have enjoyed the content over on the Patreon. I am leaving tonight. I go back to Atlanta, and it seemed like it was something else I wanted to tell you guys. Not about the Wendy Williams thing, because I'm done talking about that. That may be all I wanted to say. Wait. Kelly goes toe to toe with you. Oh, thank you, Powerful. AK. Well, I don't want to say your real name because you may not want me to say your real name. I did see the Spinderella interview with Jason Lee. I surely did. We can talk about that a little bit. I did watch that, and she spoke out the other day, and she basically said that she was hurt and she was disappointed. She's had some she's battled with some depression over the years, but fortunately, she has a great man um, in her life that's kind of held her down. You and me both, Kimberly. Um, oh, thank you. You liked the way that the food looked at the brunch. That food was really good. But yeah, she did talk about that, and I mean, again, I still feel the same way. Jasmine, I mean, Salt and Pepper were dead wrong for not including Spinderella's point of view. It was really unfortunate. They gave her $1.6 million, yes, for back money, but in which they should have. But I also feel like they cut her out of that story. You know, some people might feel like, well, yeah, just give me my money, da da da. But still, it's like your contributions to music, to hip hop, have been excluded completely. And I just think that that's unfair. I really do think that that's unfair. Hopefully, there will be another story at some point. Um, I mean, maybe they will. Maybe they will do. This is all the hair I've ever grown under my arm. I've never shaved my hair under my arms. This is all the hair I've ever grown. That may be TMI, but I just felt the need to tell you that. Yes, Jason Lee has gotten really slim. He has indeed. But I want to tell you guys too. Jasmine Sullivan performed on HBO Max. Now you can't log on now to watch it because I tried to do it earlier, but I did share the link over in my Facebook group. It's called So Much to Say Podcast Pen Pal. So if you're not in that group, you can go over there and watch it. It's like 28 minutes. It's almost 30 minutes. And somebody said they got an armpit fetish. But it was really, really good. When I tell you Jasmine Sullivan sings her ass off and she writes her ass off, like the way that she does, the way that she just, her vocal choices and the way that she sings, it's just, oh my God, it's just amazing. When she sang Girl Like Me, oh my God, it really made me want to produce something. Like it really made me think about my stage play for some reason. But yes, we did watch Your Honor last night. I'm not going to talk about it right now because I'm sure some of you have not watched it. But Your Honor is my new favorite TV show. It's on Showtime. It's called Your Honor. Your Honor. Yes, Hotels. That's the name of Jasmine's project. It is a masterpiece. And I'm sure women, you're going to love this project. Well, thank you very much, Amber. Oh, that wasn't Amber's comment. Here it is. But yeah, it was a really, really good, short little concert. It was really, really dope. But the album or project is really, really good. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about. Keisha Miller said, do not say anything, Craig. I'm not going to talk about Your Honor. I'm not going to talk about it. How many episodes are there? I wonder. I'm wondering how many episodes there are because last night was episode number 8. So I don't know if they're going to do 2 more episodes. But you know what? And I'm not going to talk about last night's episode, but let me tell you this. Now, white people, hold on. Because I'm about to shake y'all up just a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit, though. This TV show, because see, I try to watch things from, on the surface and things, that I try to see what's underneath it, right? When I tell you, when I watch this film, it just really just goes to show the lengths to which white folks will go to get over. And how white folks do everything in their power to scapegoat and use black people for the fall. We saw it. Oh, it's only 2 more episodes of Your Honor. So it's going to be 10 episodes then. So it's going to be 10. Okay. So, for example, did you see how now this is old stuff. So if you haven't seen it, then niece, this has nothing to do with last night's episode. But the way that the judge pointed out the Constitution and he talks about integrity and this, that, and the third, yet and still he knows his own son killed this boy, But he's allowing this black boy to take the fall. This black boy who's poor, who comes from a very poor family, and you have this privileged life. And my thing is, you never really know what choice you'll make unless you're in a circumstance. But I can't imagine. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. I- Devin said, I didn't even see it that way, but you're on to something. And look, and I'm not even going to stop there, Devin. Look at the way he did that black judge. Look at the way he did that black judge. Now, she was on her way to celebrate his birthday, and he called the police because he knew she had just left that bar having a drink. And now her job is on the line. Her job is on the line because you are going to whatever extent you deem necessary in order to try to protect. I mean, and they mad about affirmative action. Right. He's like a pastor, uses words and then to manipulate people. It's on Showtime. It's called Your Honor. And it is, listen, it is such a good show. It's a really good show. And it just makes me think about, how it's so hard, it's so difficult for poor people, black people to get ahead when you have people like that. And here's the thing, this kind of shit really happens. This kind of shit really happens, right? This shit ain't just completely fabricated. Excuse me. This stuff really happens. Tanya said, I don't think I'm gonna watch it because it'll piss me off. I'm telling you, it's a good show. It's a really good show. But and then the fact that they know that there's a crime family and like they're well aware of it, but the crime family is in the bed with the policemen. They're in bed with the judges. And so it's like they're able to get away with this stuff. And meanwhile, black folks down here in New Orleans, aka the United States of America, are around here struggling and trying to live honestly, trying to live, an integral life. Oh my God. Like it's such a good, I don't mean no harm, but listen, and I know this is not all white people, but I'm gonna tell you, those white folks, they something. And I understand that it's not all white folks, but I'm gonna tell you, like, they are a special kind of evil. They are a special kind of evil. The fact that, and then, I was about to talk about last night's episode, so I'm not gonna talk about. I was about to slide right on into last night's episode. Oh, I ain't gonna be able to do that. But it's a really good show. It's a thought-provoking show. And here's another thing. It's more reason why it is important for us to be present on jury duty. And see, I want to talk about last night's episode so badly, but I'm not. But it's important that we are present on jury duty. I've talked about this before, but now I have an example to give you. This is why you need to be on jury duty. Don't be trying to get out of jury duty. Because when somebody black is on trial and you're not that, your black ass ain't there because you're trying to go get your hair done or you don't want to be on jury duty. The black man or woman that's on trial stands less of a chance of getting a fair trial if there's no representation. And see, I want to talk about last night's episode because I want to give you an example, but I can't. But see, we are in the position to vote, like these circuit court judges and things. You know what I'm saying? You need to remove these people. Who's that sent the little cash app through here? Thank you, late. Who's this? Lay Mama. Lay Mama. Thank you very much for the cash app. But yeah, so it's a really good show. You should watch it. It's a good one. I think I might be behind on A Million Little Things. I might be behind. But that's a great show too. But that, Your Honor, it'll make you think. It will make you think. Y'all want me to tell you about the episode from last night? They don't want me to tell them the episode. Oh, that was you. Thank you, Christina B. Thank you, Devin. She said for last Friday. Thank you, Devin. Devin Stewart. There's no more episodes of A Million Little Things. I used to watch 911. I used to watch 911, but I had to stop watching it because that Angela Bassett was just overacting for me. I love anime and everything, but she was doing too much overacting over there. Kia said, I watched it, so let's talk. Y'all selfish. Y'all like, fuck the rest of these people. I want to talk about it. But listen, when I say Angie, and I told y'all the story about when I lived in LA, she stopped me one day at this church. I went to West Angeles one Sunday, and she was standing outside of the church talking about you want to buy some Girl Scout cookies? No, girl, I'm broke. I ain't got no money for no damn Girl Scout cookies. But that Angela Bassett was overacting on there. She was damn near a lesbian. She was so hard. They may as well have wrote her in as a lesbian. And you know how on 911 how her husband was actually a part of the community. She should have been part of the community because she was so hard with the little short crop wig they put her in. I was like, they need to take this. I liked it when it first started, but that was another show that was a little too campy. And I'm gonna tell you why it was campy, because, and I know it's fictional, but some of it was just too. It was just too overdone. Like, for example, like there was a fire or something that happened way up in Van Nuys, and she worked for LA, the LA County. Like, how you driving all the way to Van Nuys for a fire? Now, for those of you who don't know the lay of the land in California, that would be like a fire being in Baltimore and the DC fire truck riding all the way to Baltimore to put this fire out. That didn't even make no sense. Why are you going all the way to Van Nuys to put out a fire? No. No. We've been here for a whole 50 minutes. We've been here for a whole 50 minutes. And she told me, oh, he live. Because she must have been on smoke break. She must have been on smoke break. Rita, don't come here with them cigarettes. Don't come in here. We got clean air in here. Van Nuys is still LA County, niece, but LA has its own fire department. They're not driving all the way out to Van Nuys. She is really trying to come for me today. They're not going all the way to Van Nuys. Look, she at work. Look, she talking. Okay, somebody said use Atlanta as an example. Okay, so for example, that would be like there's a fire in Alpharetta and you live down in Clayton County. They're not sending the fire department from Alpharetta all the way down to Fayetteville. like that doesn't even make sense. Who left the GED door open? Rita talking about she at work. We know you don't work when you at work. Those of you that are in the So Much to Say podcast pen pal group on Facebook, Rita posts more than anybody in that group all day long. Every 2 to 3 minutes, she's posting something new. I'm like, well, how is she working in the school system? That's why some of these kids dumb as rocks. Hopefully she's not a teacher. Rita, what's your position at the school? Hopefully she's not a teacher, because when I tell you she stays on okay, so I'm gonna give you another example because somebody said I don't know nothing about LA. I gave you an Atlanta example and I gave you a Baltimore DC example. It would be like if you lived in Miami. If you lived in Miami and they sent the fire truck all the way up to Fort Lauderdale. But they send the fire truck from Miami to Fort Lauderdale. What's Rita's position? What does she do at the school? Is she what's her? Well, she talking about this good stuff. Now I want to know. She talking about this good stuff that she posting in the group. Rita, what's your position over at the school? That's what I want to know. What's your position at the school? She's the school secretary. That's why y'all not getting information about the PTA meetings and stuff. Okay, Kendra said just do miles and minutes. It's basically like 40 minutes. It's like 40 minutes apart. So they're not sending a fire truck 40 minutes. That city has its own fire truck. Like, so it was just too, 911 just became too much. Rita up in the cafeteria watching the live right now with her earbuds on, with a cigarette in the other hand. Rita like this, holding her phone. She holding the phone in his hand. She got the cigarette right here. And you know, you got to do your eyes like this because that smoke be burning your eyes. She trying to type. Rita. Oh, they said she's a paraprofessional, so she's a teacher assistant. She said, "I view the cameras when y'all children bad as hell." Well, they wouldn't be so bad if you paid attention to them. You sitting here on Facebook. She at the school telling the kids to put their phone up, but meanwhile she on her phone all day long. She telling the kids they can't be on Snapchat and Instagram, but she on Facebook all day. And I'm not the only one that Rita watches on the live. Please believe. So if somebody else goes on live before me or after me, trust, believe, and know she's going to be there too. Rita don't be paying. Rita don't care. Rita don't care. Rita does not care. Rita, long as she got her Benson and Hedges, menthol cigarettes. Is that you smoke the menthols, Rita? Rita, is it the menthols that you smoke? Where's she at? And they must have called. She must have got a phone call in the office. She must have got a phone call in the office because she ain't typing right now. Where's she at? Oh, here she is. Girl, where you, Rita? You know what? Anyway, but listen, I got to get off of here because I need to eat, and my flight is in a few hours. I need to put my little stuff back in my bag. So listen, I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, listen, happy Black History Month, people. Happy Black History Month, people. Oh, look at Bianca. Look at Bianca. Happy Black History Month, people. Does it sound crispy, extra crispy, the microphone? You're welcome, Vicky. I was going to tell you guys something. I want to give you a little, I was thinking that I was going to try to give you guys like a Black history fact, some facts about Black history, since it is Black History Month, even though I celebrate my Blackness every day of the week and every day of the year. But I think I'm going to try to think about some stuff. Don't forget, Derek J and I are going to be live this coming Sunday for what's it called? Gay Like Me Conversations. If you have not subscribed to that channel, please subscribe to the Gay Like Me Conversations channel. It's on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Gay Like Me Conversations. Please subscribe. We are like 150 people away from having 1,000 subscribers. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all like this: if that channel ain't monetized by the time we do this show on Sunday, I'm not coming on. No, I'm just playing. But please subscribe. But and then the Honest Hour. Carlton and I will be getting ready for the Honest Hour. He is rounding up his last couple weeks here in LA. There's the address for the Honest Hour. If you have a Black-owned business, you don't have to have a Black-owned business, but particularly if you have a small business and you're looking for some promotion and some support, go ahead and send your product in to that address there with your website address. Package it like you would send it to a paying customer, because we are gonna review your packaging. We're gonna review your packaging. I'm gonna peek over at your website. I'm gonna see if your website is up or down. You ever go to somebody's website and it ain't even working? It says under construction or something about the domain belongs to. Okay, so listen, if you don't have a working website, we're going to read you. Well, I am. Carlton is nice. I'm going to let you know. Listen, their website don't work. They sent it in a brown paper bag. They don't have no good packaging. So send it over here presentably. Not here, but, to the P.O. box, that address right there. And then look at Angela Davis. This month must be Black owned. Listen to Angela Davis. Here go. Shh, hold on. Shh. Everybody, just look at her real quick. Just look at her. Shh, don't, just look at her. Let's wait for her to catch up. But before she sits down, point her in the direction of the GED section. Don't even speak to her. Don't speak to her. Just let her know. She still ain't caught on. She still ain't caught on. But anyway, if you have a small business and you want to send your product into the Honest Hour, we will review it for free and we will share it with the viewers. So make sure you include your social media handle, your website, all of that kind of stuff so that we can tell people how to support you. Okay. Now, listen, if it is cooked food, don't send no cooked food over here. I'm not eating any cooked food unless it's a commercial kitchen and you have real packaging and the packaging is done by a third party. You have a co-packer. I'm not cooking. I'm not eating anything from your kitchen. Okay. And neither is Copper, the dog. Okay. So don't send no treats over here. We're not eating that. Okay. Please and thank you. But anything else you can send over to us. And listen, we are preparing. We have a really nice way of presenting your product when you send it now. We stepping up the Honest Hour. And this is a good way for you to promote your business. Because remember, we about to be on TV soon. Look at her. She got a commercial kitchen. Monquetta, I don't want nothing that you cook, even in a commercial kitchen, okay? I don't even want nothing from you in the commercial kitchen. In fact, if I come to your house, Monquetta, I don't even want no bottled water. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't you send no chitlins over here. I'm not even giving those to Nan. I'm not even giving those to Nan. But so that's that. I told you about the Honest Hour. I told you about Gay Like Me Conversations. Please subscribe over there, people. Rita, are you subscribed to Gay Like Me Conversations? You ain't doing nothing else at work. She still need help getting on. You don't need help opening up them cigarettes. You don't need help purchasing cigarettes. But she need help getting on YouTube. This don't make no sense. She need help getting on. She need help getting on YouTube. You don't need help firing up them cigarettes. Now she need help getting on YouTube. Ask one of them children at the school that you neglecting. Ask one of them to help you get on YouTube. They know how to get on there. But anyway, thank you guys for subscribing. And those of you that are on the Patreon, thank you for your $5 American that were snatched from your account today. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I don't ever want you to think that I don't, because I do. There is an aspiring writers level on my Patreon as well. So for those of you that are inboxing me and emailing me about helping you write your book, niece, I tell you how to do it over on my Patreon. Amen. It's over on the Patreon. Those of you that are subscribed to the Patreon, I appreciate you allowing Patreon to snatch those 20 quarters from your bank account before your power bill, your rent, your mortgage, and anything else that you have to pay. Oh, they charge tax too? Wait a minute. Rochelle said they charge tax. Well, I don't get. Oh, Danette said I did the yearly Patreon. It makes more sense, Danette, to do the yearly Patreon. It is. It makes so much more sense. You save money. But at any rate, Tanny Joy said, yeah, you snatched mine this morning. Oh, awesome, Lovelace. I'm glad you told her about that. Baby, Patreon don't play. They get their money. Thank you for being a Patreon member. Bacardi, thank you as well. Yeah, I think it's better to do the yearly. It really does make more sense. Alicia, aka Angela Davis, you better not cancel your Patreon. Look at the mathematician over here. She just wants us to know she got a an accounting degree. Sit down somewhere. And aren't they coming in? I tried to tell y'all they coming in. I'm gonna tell y'all on my Patreon how they coming in. I'm not telling y'all on this live. I'm gonna tell y'all on my Patreon. Not yet though. I'm gonna tell y'all when I'm able to pull it up into a little ponytail. But no. And what's she talking about? I get my stimulus on Wednesday. So that means you're gonna subscribe to the Patreon and purchase something? Do you see this foolishness right here? Craig, can you refund us the tax? What I look like, Oprah in these streets? I look like Oprah around here. Carlton is in the other room working. Carlton is in the other room working. You know, we got bills to pay. What Alicia saying? Craig, please stop saying it with these edges. They've been coming for. No, you don't even try to play me. My edges are coming. They just asked about you. Are you making the tuna? No, you're eating.
Yes, I took a second to take a bite.
What are you eating?
Cake.
Cake.
Mm-hmm.
I got some cake you can eat. But no, are you gonna are you gonna make the tuna?
At some point. But,
Well, you could be making it now while you standing there looking at me.
you know what? You see how he does, y'all?
I'm just saying, like, I mean, I'm over.
Slamming away for the
I done jumped on a plane, came 3,000 miles to see him, and I'm over here maybe I should just go. I got $14 in my Cash App. Maybe I can just go ahead and order something to do Postmates and Uber Eats. I gotta sit over here in this house hungry. I gotta sit over here. Right. And they're gonna say, I didn't do that. I don't know how that happened. Well, I guess I got attacked in the middle of the night. It was darker than that. Anyway. I got some cake you can eat. No, speaking of Subway, those of you that are, thank you, Ronald. Those of you that are over there eating that tuna fish over at Subway, see, this is why you got to be careful what you're eating. That tuna, according to these articles that I read 2 different articles. That is not tuna fish. And in fact, I need to call Gladys and tell her to stop eating that. Let me get her on the line real quick. Let me see if she'll answer. But my mother eats that tuna fish over there at Subway. It's some sort of a substance. It's some sort of a material. It's not really tuna. Stop eating that. I'll call Gladys and see what she doing. Shh, be quiet. Ma. What you doing?
Watching this movie on Black Experience. I don't know who takes it, but it's a mess. Hear all that noise?
Oh, it's a bootleg.
I was like, Lord, they couldn't put nothing on here on Black Experience better than this.
That's a bootleg you watching?
No, it's Xfinity Black Experience.
Well, this is what I was calling to tell you. First of all, you know that tuna that you over there eating at Subway all the time? It ain't really tuna. It ain't fish, they said. I read an article over the weekend.
What is it?
They said it's some material. I don't know. They said it's some material that is not really tuna. In fact, it's not fish at all. It's some meat substitute or something they use. They just put all that mayonnaise in there to make y'all think that it's tuna.
Oh my Lord! Well, I haven't had it for a long time, probably since last year sometime. And I was thinking about it today. I said, maybe I'll get me a tuna sandwich. I haven't had them for a long time.
Yeah, you might want to go in the kitchen and make your own tuna.
And it's a mess.
Well, how was the dialysis today?
It was good. They called me yesterday to come in early because, you know, we got all this horrible weather up here.
Oh, it snowed, right? It snowed.
Snow, ice, sleet, rain. I tell you, the car was just caked this morning. But
Well,
they probably cleaned it off a couple times, but then it sleeted overnight.
Oh.
Of course, you know, it froze up.
Oh, okay.
But on my way to dialysis started raining because I still don't have a real windshield wiper
You run around and ain't got no windshield wipers?
in the bag. Because I had brought one, and Terrell put it on, and it fell off. And one day it was raining, and I happened to look back there. I said, wonder what happened to the windshield wiper. So I went back over to the store, and the guy said it really didn't fit. But it had dropped in the street somewhere, so I couldn't get my money back. But Tyree told me to go to a place and give them my number on, that
VIN number.
And they should be able to get the right one for me.
All right, well, I was just calling to tell you that I got to get off here. I'm on the live.
On the live this early?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what time are you coming back?
Because I'll be flying the friendly skies at 9 o'clock.
Oh, at 9. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, so I will talk to you tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
What did you eat?
Some soup. I made some chicken noodle soup Thursday. And I ate a big bowl of that when I came home and a piece of cornbread. And I'm going to eat something again for my dinner.
Where did cornbread come from?
From the store. It was already made. But it's good.
All right. Well, I will talk to you tomorrow.
Okay. Well, have a safe flight. What did y'all do yesterday? I saw on Facebook.
I thought we were getting off the phone.
You put somebody said that girl Shay is their cousin.
What? I don't know who that is. But I don't even know what you're talking about. But
One of the girls was here, her name was Shay.
Shaya.
Shay or whatever. Some guy said that that's his cousin.
Oh. You see how she say, all right, well, let me go. And then she pulled me back into the conversation.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so
Go ahead.
No, that was all I was gonna say.
I sent Christmas. Well, I didn't do Christmas cards. I did New Year's Eve cards. And Thomas came back, said moved no forward in the dress and not able to forward it.
I don't know what happened with Tanya. I have no idea. Well, it was nice that you sent her a Christmas card. But anyway, I'll talk to you later. I'm about to go. All right, bye. She will pull me right back into a conversation. Just Barbara Walters me. All right, well, let me go. Well, wait. Well, what had happened to the? It's like there are times where something is really urgent, and I gotta hurry up and get off the phone. And I'm like, all right, well, let me go because it's somebody clicking in on the other line. Well, wait a minute. What had happened with girl? I got to call you back. Whew, my God. Anyway, listen, you guys have an amazing day. And look, here's the other thing. All right, and have a safe flight. Well, what does that really mean? I hope your plane doesn't crash. That's really what that means, You know that's what that really means when somebody says, that's what that really means. Well, have a safe flight. Well, it's like, well, I have no control over whether or not the flight is going to be safe or not. All I can do is say my prayer and hope for the best. Amen. But anyway, listen, you guys have an amazing day. Those of you that are still at work, Rita. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Bye.